2, ready.
February was a really hard month for me. Before we get any farther, I wanted to thank today's sponsor, Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of classes on topics including illustration, design, photography, video, content creation, and more. I've taken classes for a little over a year now, most that have helped me with my journey here on YouTube. I've taken classes on editing, creativity, time management, that kind of thing. Skillshare has really helped me feel inspired and capable and just ready to take on all the dreams and goals that I have. This week, I also wanted to point out that there is a how-to van life course on Skillshare. It's by Bob Wells. He's a YouTuber. His course really touches on all the basics, I think, that you should know before you hit the road. Things like overcoming fear, how to get mail, where to camp, all these kinds of questions are answered in his course. So if you want to try it out, the first 1,000 people who use the link down in my description will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. So feel free to use it if you'd like. Okay, now back to the pre-prayed programming or something. Hi. It's been a hot minute since I filmed anything. This last week I've spent doing taxes, hanging out with family. I went and I visited my aunt who has 4 golden retrievers, which is a lot, but in like the best way possible. Finn fit in seamlessly, weirdly, with the goldens. We left this morning, and when we left the house, Finn just did not want to leave. Like, he kept running up to the kitchen where all the dogs were. Finn loves having siblings. Anyways, and now we're back in the van. I wasn't sleeping in the van for like 4 nights. I slept at my aunt's house. So it's kind of weird to be back in here. Everything feels slightly different, and I don't really know why. This place is, where am I right now? I don't know where I am, but I kind of want to just like stay here. This is really, really pretty. Anyways.
Shadows fall.
In a quarter mile, your destination will be on the right.
Dancing with ghosts
Hi, Finny. Do you want to play Frisbee?
of the people I've been. Have they gone and died? Or are they living here inside?
We spent this first evening running around in the desert with the sun setting in front of us, the full moon setting behind. I had no idea yet what this week's adventures would bring, which direction we'd head, but none of it seemed to matter. It was just the 2 of us and this dang sunset.
What are you planning to do with the years and the time between now and the end of the line?
Today for dinner, I'm attempting. This should be fine. I'm not going to use the word attempting. I am making tacos for the first time ever. I don't really cook very often. Honestly, I kind of stick to the same like 3 recipes. It's just who I am. However, I feel like changing who I am. So, I don't know how much to put. Oops. Wow, you guys are really getting the uncut, uncleaned van today, aren't you? Is there anything embarrassing on the bed? I don't think so.
I'm so content right now. Oh my gosh.
Phineas and I are tucking into bed. Finn's in his new bed. His last one got really gross, so anyways. It's Valentine's Day today. It's Valentine's Day, and I'm laying here with my dog. I'm not gonna elaborate any more on that topic. As far as the rest of my life goes, I think I'm gonna chill here for like 72 hours or something, and then I'll come back to you guys when I'm fully rested up and rejuvenated and no longer feeling the need to binge watch Grey's Anatomy. Okay, I'm going now. Good night. I spent the next 72 hours pretty much doing nothing other than drinking coffee, journaling, reading, dreaming, watching Netflix, and playing fetch with Finn. It was a much needed mental break, and when it was over, I was feeling quite inspired to go up into the mountains nearby. I have a patron who's mentioned the town of Idlewild multiple times, and so on this day I woke up, packed up, and set off to find myself above sea level for the first time in over a month. Around 30 minutes into the drive, the wind started picking up. The gusts grew stronger and stronger until semis started pulling off onto the shoulders. My van was definitely doing a little dancey dance, but I was able to stay in my lane, so I just kept creeping forward. At one point, a few miles from my first major exit, the gusts got so bad that I considered turning around and going back to the lake bed, but after a few seconds of deliberation, I decided that this was too much of an adventure to turn around. And it's a good thing too, because once I started climbing up into the mountains, the wind disappeared, replaced by one of my favorite weather patterns ever. Do I know what's going on? Absolutely not. Am I in my own heaven? Yes. This is a personal heaven made just for me. Yeah, man. As I started the fire, it started to snow, and at first it was just little flurries here and there, and I was still able to enjoy being outside with just the warmth of the fire, but after a while it started coming down harder, which, I mean, none of this was listed in the weather forecast, but regardless of the cold, I stayed outside, loving every moment of it, just watching the snowflakes fall and laughing at the fact that I was sitting in a mini snowstorm not an hour away from 75-degree weather. I think that I'm a first snow kind of girl. I set out this winter trying to spend a lot of time in the snow, and I actually really wish that I could have spent more time in the snow. Having two-wheel drive limits not necessarily where you go states wise, but it limits where you sleep. I prefer Forest Service roads or quiet campgrounds, and once there's 8 inches on the ground, I can't take this van down basically any Forest Service road, which is why I left Colorado in the first place, because I found that I couldn't sleep anywhere. I think I would love to spend more time in the snow if I had a 4-wheel drive vehicle, but so long as I'm in this van, I see myself kind of going to places where the first snow happens, because I love the first snow. There's something so goddamn special about it. Anyways. The next morning I woke up and was pleasantly surprised to find the world blanketed in a soft layer of snow. The air was warm enough that I knew it would only last a few hours, and so I soaked up as much as I could, knowing very well that this might be the last snow I get to see this winter. It's a bit later in the afternoon now. I spent the day napping. I took a shower, I washed my hair, and now we're heading back to Joshua Tree because, well, I honestly just want one last week with friends in a really chill environment before I start traveling again. I haven't really been traveling. I would call what I've been doing right now strictly living out of a van, and that's great, don't get me wrong. And if I had a normal 9-to-5 job, this is how I would live my entire life. But alas, I don't live a normal job life. I do YouTube, and that means that I not only get the opportunity to travel a little bit faster, but also when I'm not traveling, I kind of feel my time isn't fully taken up, if that makes sense. So yeah, I'm ready to get back on the road. But I am gonna give myself some friend time first, because that shiz is important. And my gas tank for friends is really empty right now. Honestly, being totally alone for a whole month was starting to affect my mental health again. I'm starting to realize that I think although I do recharge by being alone, I do still need to be depleted every once in a while. I guess I'm like a lithium battery or something. Okay, now I'm gonna stop making dumb niche jokes. Thank you guys for being here, seriously, and I will see you next week. The following scene is a behind the scenes video that I filmed for Patreon. It is not something that I would normally put on YouTube, but I'm feeling like it belongs in this video. So here's a behind the scenes of what's been really going on this month for me. Welcome to the behind my scenes for this video. I've been trying to restructure how I view my videos as like, instead of I feel like I'm making videos for an audience, I'm making videos for my 80-year-old self. And these behind the scenes videos are like, what didn't I put into a video that I do want to remember when I'm 80? The things that I didn't say in the video, and it's not because I didn't want to say it, I might say it eventually, I just honestly didn't have the words for it at the time. February was a really hard month for me. I can't exactly put to words why I think February was hard. Like I have a hunch, I think that it was because I went to California to go do taxes, and for some reason that took me an entire month to get out there and then to get back. And now that I'm like back on the road, I'm places where I've been before, and that's really hard for like creativity. And so I'm just in a lull. Why can't I say that? L-U-L-L. Lull. Sounds weird. And being in a lull is just, it's not fun, as we all know. But more than that, I think I've also just been recognizing and realizing that I need help. I've been doing a booty ton of research on trying to figure out how to get an editor on board so that I can take the stress of the majority of the edit off of my own back. And I'm in the initial process of trying to find myself an editor, which is really fun, but it's also like not fun at all. I know it's eventually going to be easier, but right now it's just stressful. Yeah, I don't know. Right now I'm definitely in this slingshotting phase. There's this metaphor that I love. I found it on TikTok or something. Some girl made this metaphor. She was talking about how sometimes in life, your life is more like a slingshot. Like when there's something that you really, really want to achieve or be doing. Like right now I'm dreaming about being able to make better videos and travel in a way that I really, really want to. And I want to be able to have a life where it's a balanced life with friends and work and all the things. But in order to get there, I can't just start like moving towards it. I have to first pull back. Like a slingshot, you're pulling the slingshot back. And that for me right now is looking like trying to find an editor, putting more time into certain aspects that I really don't want to. And also understanding that like in this pullback, my videos aren't as good as I want them to be. Like they aren't at the level that I want them to be because I'm so preoccupied with everything that's pulling me back. Eventually, this pullback means that you slingshot forward. And that is how it's always happened for me. I've always had like a video that does really, really well, and then I find myself having to pull back and get a little bit worse so that I can get better again. It's really being able to take a step back and look at everything in the big picture. I just know that I'm in a pullback phase. And those phases are really exhausting, but they've always worked out so well once they're over. And that's what I'm telling myself every day, basically. Hour by hour, I'm like, you're gonna be okay. You're gonna get to where you want to be. Just keep moving forward. Keep creating your own reality. I've got a lot of little quotes that I've been using lately. There are so many things that I want to do, and that's like the thing that excites me. Like I really do have so many goals and dreams. And so right now I'm sacrificing a little bit of quality in my videos and even maybe a little bit of consistency so that I can take the time to look at the bigger picture to figure out how I can get to where I want to be. And that I'm proud of myself for, even though it's really goddamn hard and I'm really tired. I have faith that it is going to work out the way that I want it to. Not even the way that I want it to, the way that it's meant to. Today I'm gonna hang out with Christian and Nathaniel, which is so awesome. I'm so looking forward to hanging out with them. They are such grounding souls, and I definitely need a little bit of that energy in my life right now. If you couldn't tell, life is just like full of ups and downs, and it is wild how humbling certain situations can be. Anyways, I'm genuinely so grateful to have you guys in my little corner. Patreon, man, it's the foundation. It's the foundation that allows me to freaking go 2 steps back without freaking out. I hope that you guys are having a little bit of a less volatile month. I'll come back next week and update you guys on the search for an editor. I'm just hoping that I'm like 1 step closer. 1 step closer every week, and in like 6 months, I will have a completely different life. Just kidding. Not a completely different life, just a slightly different work schedule. Anyways, I'm gonna go try to find Christian and Nathaniel. I hope that you guys have a good week. Bye. Back to the pre-prayed programming. Pre-prayed programming. Are you high on fetch? Ah, that was a horrible throw. Why does it feel dark in here? My van feels darker than usual. Weird. Does anybody else love doing dishes? Oh no. Sausages and quinoa. It's really bright.